We are recording. We are live, except for we are not live, but we are here. We are happy, and it is the Australian Open. This is the Slice Tennis Podcast, hosted by the one, the only. There were none before him. There will be none after him. Therefore, that makes him the one and only Stephen Boughton, and me, JP Hovey. And we have an awesome quick show for you today, because a lot of things are going on at both of our households, and we got to get this thing wrapped up. So we're going to be talking about the Australian Open, our top 3 moments. We're going to tell you our top 3 moments, but I need you guys to tell us your top moment of the Australian Open so far in the comments. Shout out to everybody that has been commenting, answering these questions that we're asking at the top of the show. It's awesome to go and read through the comments, and we really appreciate it. And that will pretty much be the show. Of course, we're going to give you the best bet of the day presented by Betway. But before we give you that best bet, and before we get into the top 3 moments of the Australian Open, Steven, we got to hear about the week. We got to catch up.
Yeah, well, the week's been just watching the Australian Open, really. So it's been a great time. It's been my first time doing it with as a father, doing any major as a father. So, and then the Australian Open for us here in North America is like the most hardcore one, right? Like the premier nighttime matches are starting in the middle of the night. Last night was a great example, watching Djokovic beat Alcaraz. I was just telling you that I watched Zverev beat Tommy Paul. Then I went to bed at around 10, just after 10 here, I think. And then woke up at 2 a.m. in perfect timing to watch Djokovic and Alcaraz, which was just, you have to watch that match. It's just amazing. And then I just stayed up for that whole match and then made an episode and then went straight into the workday. I actually got to sleep for like an hour again before that. But yeah, it's been a great week. Tons of tennis, tons of fun. No complaints.
No complaints. And I mean, dude, I know we'll get into it, but the Djokovic Alcaraz, waking up to it. How I woke up was,
how about you? Yeah.
The first set had already happened. And so I'm watching along, and in my head, I want Djokovic to win, but I'm seeing it right when I wake up. I see what's going down. I'm like, okay, I kind of see probably what's going to happen. I'm thinking Alcaraz is probably going to beat him, whether it be 3 sets, 4 sets, whatever it is. And so I bring my phone. I work out in the mornings, and I have the Australian Open on while I'm working out. Only guy in the gym watching the Australian Open. Dude I work out with, he's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you love tennis, trying to clown on me. Like, yeah, these are 2 greats. I don't think you understand. Like, if you're a sports fan, you should be watching this match. Even if you're not a tennis fan, like, this is something worth watching. So that was good. That was fun to wake up to and have that early morning entertainment. But other than that, all the Australian Open stuff, I guess we're probably one step closer to buying Canada. So we'll be in the same country before we know it.
Big week in America.
Big week in America. Theo Vaughn got his chair pulled out from under him at the inauguration by the Paul brothers. That basically is as good as declaring war. I'll be on Theo Vaughn's side in that battle.
I'll be on Theo Vaughn's. I love how they're not like I don't think he thought that was funny at all.
He didn't. I saw his tweet today because I also shared the video. I'm like, Theo Vaughn is the only person that this would happen to at an inauguration. I kind of thought it was. I thought it was like a true accident. And then, of course, I find out that the Paul brothers, Logan Paul specifically, has still not grown up.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't even know how Logan Paul like really gets there. I guess, did they have Trump on? I don't think they did.
Yeah. Who knows? Like, Logan Paul, especially. I don't got the time. I don't got the time for him.
Anyways, that was big day in America. Hopefully you guys don't put 25% tariffs on us here in Canada, because that kind of like crush us. And I'm cool with Trump, but I'm not cool with that. So hopefully that chills. Yeah. Or things will get weird, really weird if you think about it, because Canada and Mexico are not the same as far when it comes to partnerships with the US. Let's just be honest.
Right.
We US and Canada have gone into many wars together, and so, this isn't a politics podcast, but it's going to be an interesting few weeks.
It's not a politics podcast, but everything does kind of, unfortunately, lead back to money. And lucky for you guys listening, we do have our best bet of the day
Correct.
where we can hopefully make you some money. And this is officially the best bet of the day presented by Betway. Hit an ace with Betway and get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses, plus 50 bonus spins no matter the result. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the details section to create an account and redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers only. Terms and conditions apply. Offer not available in Ontario. Must be 18 and up. Please play responsibly.
Yes.
And I believe we're going to be diving in a little bit to Steven's pick in the Djokovic versus Zverev match.
Yeah, that's it. Best bet of the day. Looking forward to Friday's match. Friday in Australia, Thursday night, or Friday super early morning here in North America. They got Djokovic on the Betway app at -167 as the favorite, and they got Zverev as the +130 underdog. But that's pretty close, right, JP?
Very close. Yeah, it's almost even odds.
Yeah. So they got that, and then they got a bunch of other set betting. So you can you can do like Djokovic, 3 sets, or 3 like winning 4 sets or winning 5 sets. Yeah, if it goes 5 sets, it's pretty close. They're both like Djokovic is +425 and Zverev's +550. So, yeah, that'll be a big match, right? Like, to me, it's Zverev is trying to get over the line and win his first major. Djokovic just went through Alcaraz, so in reality, I think he's going to go through Alcaraz, then through Zverev, then through Sinner. That's going to be one of his like most impressive major runs. So at 37, so we'll see. Zverev is looking good. He didn't even play a great match versus Tommy Paul and was still able to win in 4. So yeah, he's got a much bigger serve than Alcaraz, so that's going to be an interesting one. I kind of like a little bit of action there on Zverev, not gonna lie, as the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect moment for him to put some of the haters to sleep and get over the hump. Even though
Yeah.
this isn't it's not a final, it's not a semifinal, but it is. I feel like Djokovic you can consider like a big time high pressure match, and if he wins that match, that's like, okay, Zverev just won a high pressured match, and maybe that is the mental hurdle he needs to clear to get
Yeah.
to his first major. So yeah, just like the odds, this one could truly go either way, and I don't think people would be shocked either way.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. So it'll be an interesting one. That's the best bet of the day.
I love it. Best bet of the day. Now, more best. Our best or top 3 moments of the Australian Open. Would you like me to give you one of mine first? Would you like me to give you all 3 of mine or
Yeah, well,
5?
let me just preface it. Maybe we'll go your number 3, and then we'll go my number 3. But yeah, obviously we're recording this Tuesday afternoon in Canada, so before the second day of the quarterfinal matchups for the men and women. So this will come out after that. So we're not going to talk about the matches tonight. This will come out tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a great tournament. It's been, taking a look, JP, I wanted to take a look at our power rankings now. Our combined power rankings going into the tournament. We both lost our number 5 person on our list. To remind the viewers, JP's list was Alcaraz at number 1, Sinner at number 2, De Minaur at 3, Djokovic at 4, Fritz at number 5. Fritz went down to Monfils. I had Alcaraz at number 1, Sinner at number 2, Djokovic at 3, Zverev at 4, and Medvedev at 5. Medvedev went up to Lerner 10. So we were both losing our number 5, and now we've both lost our number 1 because Alcaraz is out in the quarterfinals, which is kind of crazy, but not that crazy when you think of who he went out to. Novak Djokovic.
I
Crazy
know.
that they played in the quarterfinal, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I feel like that De Minaur pick is kind of cooking right now.
Kind of low key cooking. He will be playing Yannick Sinner tonight.
This is it. I mean, this match will decide our rankings.
Essentially, yeah, probably. Like if he beats Sinner, then both of our number 2s are out, and then it's like if Djokovic, well, then it's like then we have a difference, which is good because we had the same top two. So
Right.
if Demon Hour beats Sinner, then it's like whoever wins the title between Demon Hour or Djokovic
Right.
will win. Unless Zverev comes and wins it, then I also win. But
Ben Shelton.
essentially, you have to have Demon Hour to win this to beat me, or else we'll tie or I'll win.
Right. I also feel like I probably, just based off nationality, I'm probably awarded Ben Shelton in case he does make a run.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the tie goes to the American.
Yeah. Yeah. They're we'll
And you
give you
get,
that one. We'll give you that one for sure.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Like,
No offense to Ben, but I don't I personally think well, I was gonna say I think Tommy Paul has a better chance, but obviously not.
ah,
It's been a long week. We're tired. Okay, JP, who's your top 3 moments of the Australian Open so far? We'll do another one at the end of the tournament. But JP, what is your third top moment of the tournament so far?
number 3 for me. Y'all know my list. I always take a little bit of a different spin on these top 3 moments.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not be what you expect. Number 3, I think I got to go with Paula Badosa and Stefanos Tsitsipas when she was getting mad at him when she was struggling with the wind or something, and they were going back and forth. Shout out to the cameraman that gave us the shots we needed, because
Yes.
I feel like every single guy has been in that same shoes as Tsitsipas was in that, where in kind of in anything, doesn't have to be a sport, but it's like you're trying to calm your girlfriend or wife down, and then they're going through their own thing respectively, and maybe we're not given the proper response that we should
I
be
don't think
given.
he was given the proper response. He was like, it was like, bro, you're dead. He's just like, calm down from the crowd. She's like, probably like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill you.
And just a perfect lesson to all the guys out there. The last thing you need to say to your girlfriend or wife when she's upset is relax or calm down. Just hear her out. Listen. That's all they need sometimes. Just listen.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great moment. I forgot about that one. So that's a nice pick.
What you got at number 3?
Yeah, I got at number 3. I've got honestly the rally from the Carlos Alcaraz Novak Djokovic match last night.
So good.
Rally in the 4th set. Djokovic was up 4-2, and he was up a break point. This was to go up a double break. Insane rally, probably the rally of the tournament, or one of the rallies of the tournament so far. There's been a few, but this one was just animalistic, and it really felt like a moment where Alcaraz was going to make a push. They were going hard in this rally, and it was like if Djokovic had won that point, the match was essentially over because he was up a double break. And then it was physical, it was cross court, it was everywhere. And then it was like, who's gonna, because they were both staying at the baseline, just like hitting it hard. I was like, who's gonna blink first? I was like wondering, I was like, ooh, is Alcaraz gonna do it? Is he gonna allow himself to blink before like a 37-year-old man physically would?
Right.
And he didn't, and Djokovic ended up being the one who, kind of let off a shot and put it long. And then they were both gassed for like a good 45 seconds after that. But he did stay. He ended up holding that game, but was not able to break back. And Djokovic was able to serve it out. But that rally that's the type of point that you tune into that match for, and that's why we're like so excited to see the matchups between these guys, because it's just on another level.
It's cool too. I think my favorite part of the Australian Open, maybe they've been doing this and it just has never come on my feed before, but how they've created these rallies, but in the Wii tennis characters.
Yeah.
And that rally, they did that rally in the Wii tennis one, and I swear it made it that much more epic.
Yeah. Those are great. I loved it when Medvedev was smashing the camera on the net. That was my all-time.
That was all time.
Yeah. Okay. What's your number 2 there, JP?
Number 2, it goes to, I guess, probably several moments technically, but Sabalenka's post-match press conferences, the whole tournament, she's been bodying them. She's been bringing great vibes. Starting out the tournament, she knows, she addresses the crowd being a little bit against her, but she forgives the crowd. She's very good on the mic. And then most recently, when she was talking about how her team needs to show the same kind of commitment. Oh my gosh. Who made their team get the tattoos after Wimbledon?
Elena Rybakina.
Yes. Rybakina's team, they got the tattoos. Now Sabalenka's like, see, that's what true love looks like. My team needs to do that if I win here. So in order to make it happen, maybe I will put something in their drink after we win, and they'll be asleep, and then the tattoo happens, and the TV reporter had no idea how to handle that statement by her. But it
She's
was
like,
an
"I'm gonna
all-time
drug
great.
my team."
Right. But I love the energy she has after the matches. I'm always tuned into her post-match on-court press conferences.
That's good stuff. She's the best. She's the best in the
She's the
women's game.
best.
She's my favorite to win. And yeah, that's funny. Okay, my number 2 is a German player named Ava or Eva Lys,
Yeah.
Lys. She's ranked like 115, 120 in the world, and she made, I believe, the 4th round. And there's like a great clip of her finding out how much her prize money is for the tournament. And the guy's like, if you go just look it up on Twitter or whatever, he's like, you know how much you made? And she's like, no. He's like, 420,000. She's like, what? She's like, it's like, I think when I believe she got main draw. I don't think she was a qualifier, but sometimes these players aren't really looking at the money round by round. But I went and looked at her like career earnings, and I believe her career earnings is 700,000 over almost 800,000 over like 5 or 6 years, right? Or being a pro.
Yeah.
So it's she made, more money this week than she has made in any single year so far on tour. So she's like, that's so crazy. That's more money than I've ever thought of.
That is
That was a good
awesome.
moment.
I feel like going into a tournament, do you think you would go look at the prize money round by round, or do you think you'd be locked in, just focus on your match?
If it was my first tournament, I would like my first major that I qualified for or whatever. I'd definitely be checking out. I'd be like, all right, I'm in the first round. What am I paying? What am I getting paid to lose? But that's because I'm mentally weak with tennis, so I would think about that. And then during the match, when I'm like the going gets tough, I'm like, well, at least I'm getting 100 grand just for being here. And then I probably lose. When in reality, you shouldn't. It should just be like, well, losing isn't acceptable. I have to win, so I'm gonna find a way.
Right. See, that's funny because my thought process is, even with my friend that's on Corn Ferry Tour right now, I'll keep up with where, like, if he finishes 25th, how much money will he be making?
Right.
And I'll send him like a funny message after, because very rarely do you like know how much your friends are making. And
Yes.
obviously I have like a funny, lighthearted spin on it. I'm not like not like pocket watching people,
Right.
but I would look at the prize money and probably reverse from you, because I am a little bit of an optimist. I'd be like, man, so if I make it to the semifinals, this is
Mhm.
how much money I'm getting. All right, this is where I need to go.
Yeah. I like it. Like
So
it's like the carrot rather than the stick. Um,
exactly.
yeah, no, I like that. I like
But I
that.
love it. That was a feel good story. That clip is so wholesome, and you're so happy for the athletes because you know how much sacrifice is put
Yeah,
into it all, and
for sure. It
they
was funny
deserve
though.
it.
I gotta look into this. I typed in Ava Liss. I don't know how to say it. Ava Liss into Twitter, and the first thing that came up was Ava Liss Carlitos. So just a little couple alert there.
Do
Carlitos
not
is
tell
obviously the
Raducanu.
scout. Yeah, no Raducanu's out. Ava Liss in. Maybe I haven't like dug down that rabbit hole at all, but I did just see that. So people have been searching it on Twitter. That's all you need to know. So that's rumor, started officially here on the Slice.
Which, but speaking of Alcaraz, this can be an honorable mention on my end before I get to my number one. Did you see the video maybe last night that he was in the training room or something? He like hit a tennis ball up, and then the reaction of his whole team,
Yeah,
like, yo, what? I gotta know what he hit.
I know that was great. Maybe someone knows who's watching this what he hit. I'm sure. Like I would think like TV or like maybe like an exit sign and just like smashed into that. But
Right.
yeah, he's unhinged. He's like so funny to watch. Like in the in the locker room. Like I think I saw another video of him just like kind of like dancing in front of like the mirror and then like
Yeah.
kind of just like geeking out, like not thinking anyone is watching him. It's just like great vibes.
Those cameras are so devious.
Oh yeah. You gotta
Just
know. So you
a
gotta know.
full hidden camera on, like, the footage that comes out of it is like, I almost feel like I'm like violating their privacy with how like security-ish it looks.
They gotta know, like, that's, like, when you're on the premises there, you gotta know that there's a camera on you because
Yeah,
these tournaments got
definitely.
lots of time on their hands and lots of money to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 1,
Okay.
it comes from the Djokovic Alcaraz match, but it has nothing to do with either of them. It has to do with Andy Murray sitting over there, and as the match is carrying on, you can tell he's pretty tired. And
Yeah.
I would like to think in Andy Murray's mind, he doesn't really care if Djokovic wins or not. He's just like, please let me go home. I don't know
Yeah.
how much longer I can stay up. Why did I decide to take this job here at the Australian Open? And even his reaction after he wins, when he just hands up like stone
He's
cold face.
yeah.
So shout out to Andy Murray, number 1 moment of just fighting through what was one of the best matches of the tournament,
Yeah.
staying awake, bringing some whatever vibes he was bringing to Djokovic. Because when Djokovic got frustrated over at his box too, you wonder who he's yelling at. But it was funny. Andy Murray still providing the great entertainment even when he's not on the court.
Yeah. And that was when Djokovic lost the big rally from my third top moment. He was like, sit down. He's like, sit down to his team. I think they were like standing up cheering. He's like, I just lost the 30 ball rally,
Yeah.
which is hilarious.
Andy Murray's just like,
Anyways, like, I don't need to be here, bro.
I'm doing this for you.
He's like, I'm doing this for free. Probably not.
Yeah.
But
Which I do wonder what his pay cut will be.
I was thinking about that. I'm sure that he'd be like, oh, whatever is normal. Like, and then yeah, like they're probably just doing the whole thing. It's like when they're both arguing for the check, they're probably like, no, bro, I want to pay you. He's like, no, that's fine.
Right. I don't need it, man. No, I'm
And
paying
then
you.
Andy Murray's probably like, hey, wait, let's compare our career earnings, and then whoever has more, like that's who will cover this.
Well, you owe me the difference in our career earnings.
That's right. There would be a lot owed there, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, my top moment, my number 1 moment of the Australian Open so far is Gael Monfils beating
Yes.
Taylor Fritz. I mean,
That
you
seems
gotta
personal, but
you're like, that seems specific, weird. But I swear it's not. I swear it's not, even though I did say I don't believe Taylor Fritz is gonna win the Australian Open from the beginning. I did say that. It's not relating to that at all. It's more like Gael Monfils is always a feel-good story, especially,
he
here he's
is.
38, he's older than Djokovic, just won in Auckland, and then, he's now out of the tournament. He lost, obviously, to Ben Shelton, had to retire, but he beats Taylor Fritz, the 4th seed, and, he kinda does, like, the Dougie after he wins. He's like and then, in conjunction with this result, he goes to press, and they go, these reporters are saying, "What's your goal? Like, do you dream?" They're like, "Do you dream about winning a Grand Slam?" He's like, "No, no." He's like, "I don't." You should go check out the actual quote, but he says, my dream, my goal is to have a beautiful family, lots of kids, and enjoy life and enjoy tennis."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's based. That's like such a
Base,
base
bro.
there." Like he's
He
already won, really. He's got Alina Svitolina. They already have a kid, I believe.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. And she's awesome. And his goal, he's like, I just want to have a big family and enjoy tennis. And he's obviously enjoying tennis right now, making it to the 4th round. And that's a great
Yeah.
result for him. And yeah, I just thought it was such a feel good moment. Like he's just like got the right perspective on life. And I feel like that's
Right. And
very cool.
seeing that interview too, or the press conference, you kind of knew going into the next match versus Shelton, that's like he probably knows that his body is already kind of spent. He's
Yeah.
obviously going to show up, play to the best of his ability, for the fans, of course. But it is cool. It's like, he got to enjoy like a big win, but is very self-aware of like, dang, like, this is probably it. So I'm going to enjoy it. And it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. No, it is fun. And he's got game still, man. Like the way he was
Yeah.
playing during the tournament, like his forehand is just sometimes so loose. Like it's just so fluid, and it's crazy how much pace he can generate from nothing sometimes. And yeah, he's been a treat to watch. And they show these graphics of him literally in 2005 playing the Australian Open. Now 2025, 20 years later, still playing. Barely looks like he's barely aged as well. So
Jumping just as high.
yeah, what a legend. So yeah, that's my feel good moment so far of the tournament so far. Gael Monfils
I
in
love
his
that.
whole
Love Monfils. Definitely a top player I would like to meet.
word.
Back to Andy Murray and Djokovic's prize money. Djokovic prize money 185 million
Mm.
and Murray 64 million.
He's got like
So
so he's essentially got 3 times as much as Andy Murray.
three
Career prize.
times, yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy.
And Andy Murray has 46 titles. Djokovic has 99.
That's a lot of titles though still for Andy Murray. He
A
knows how
lot
to
of
win.
titles.
And he's won 2 of his majors in the final against Djokovic. So he's gotta love that. Um,
Last thing I have for you, actually. Well, here, Monfils, he's won 23 million. And 13 titles. But did you see? And the reason I bring this up is because we were texting about some media accreditations at certain tournaments and
mhm,
some things that can be frustrating as media platforms
mhm.
trying to get access to tournaments. When I saw, did you see Ben Shelton when he showed up to that press conference and nobody was there?
No.
So two 2 or 3 days ago, and I don't know if I'm assuming this was like he was just made available at one point, maybe in his off day, like, okay, Ben Shelton will be here from 2:30 to 2:45 for your
Yeah.
questions. He shows up, nobody is there, and then like, one reporter walks in, and it's like, I think he's ranked number 20 in the world, and I went to go look up like the 20th best NBA basketball player.
Right.
And right now they have him listed around, which I don't have him here because he's my favorite player. But Damian Lillard, they had him at like number 20. I'm like, do
Crazy.
you think if Damian Lillard showed up to a press conference at any point in the year that 0 people would be there?
Yeah.
No shot. It's full. And that like really kind of bummed me out / pissed me off about what we were talking about the other
Yeah.
day. But it's just like, I don't know. The
Yeah.
media
No,
got to
I
step
know
up.
the amount of media that's traveling to these tournaments is decreasing all the time. I hear that from everyone who goes, but they're also not increasing the amount of new media like us that they're wanting to give accreditation to because they are stuck in the past and they still want to see newspaper articles written about their tournament, which essentially all say the same thing. So yeah, it's funny. It's a shame, but yeah, that's a funny one. I saw that Hubert Hurkacz had a hilarious one about that. I think it was in Monte Carlo. He sat there. I think there was like some people who were there, but he's like, they're like questions for Hurkacz, and like no one asked the question. He's like,
Yeah.
okay. He's like, thanks guys, great interview, and just like walked out.
It's so
Uh,
wild to me. And then just to hear people get denied uh credentials, I'm like, where is this hiccup happening? Where's the disconnect? And how can we bridge it? How can we have the solution?
we
Let the
do.
slice at every tournament.
Yeah. We need a centralized accreditation system is really what we need, but um that probably won't happen because every tournament's owned by a different person.
Yeah. And that's why it was good. I know that you were people were saying you had a cryptic tweet, and this will be the last thing we hit on because we're almost right at our 30-minute sweet spot. But your cryptic tweet with Djokovic, Elon Musk, when Elon Musk clearly quote tweeted and definitely had no idea about the situation.
Yes.
But like overall, I liked his sentiment of like legacy media type deal because I believe legacy media are these people that aren't showing up to the press conferences, whereas we would be considered new media. But Elon Musk clearly wasn't watching at all. But do you have any statements on that on your cryptic tweet?
Yeah, I guess what I was meaning, I was like, I don't fully agree with like he said, like his point was like it's better for tennis players to go straight to their fans without he said traditional media, but I think the sense was like without media in general and in between.
Uh
And
huh.
I was saying I know we all dunk on like the traditional media, but I do think that there's an art form to presenting these players in the best light and like crafting a story around it. That's why there's sports writers and sports journalists and
Mm-hmm.
that's because we can tell the players stories better than they can.
Mm-hmm.
that's in a way, right? Not always. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like sometimes it's best to just give them the mic and let them talk. But like there's an art form to presenting it in a way that fans care about, and so essentially, Djokovic getting offended by that guy is funny, but that's just who he is. And then what that guy said was pretty crazy, but it's like it's I what I just said on the show after that is like Tony Jones is allowed to say whatever he says, and Novak Djokovic is allowed to feel however he feels and not do interviews if he doesn't want to. So he kind of strong armed him, got the apology, and then we got back more interviews. So that was I think a win-win for everyone. Tony Jones, a lot more people know about him now, and you know what? The news cycle is about this long, so no one's gonna care except for the absolutely bat no fans like Pavi G who are gonna have him like pinned against their wall with like a tack in his head still. But
Mhm.
other than that, all gonna blow over. And that's what my tweet was about. Pretty funny.
I love it. I agree. I do. I think it was a win-win all around as well. Similar to this podcast. This podcast was a win-win. We won because we got to talk about the things we love talking about.
Mhm.
And hopefully the listener, you won because you enjoyed it. I know we appreciated it. So thank you guys for tuning in. That's all I have for you. Steven, do you have anything else?
No, that's all we got. We'll do another show at the end of the tournament. So if you think of any questions, we're gonna try and release a tweet beforehand for like a mailbag. Like, hey, we're gonna do a mailbag episode where we're gonna answer people's thoughts and responses to maybe the whole Australian Open. We'd love to get more of your guys' interaction in there. So leave your thoughts below. We'll pull from this episode. We'll pull from our Twitter accounts or our X account. So follow us on there if you haven't already. And then we'll see you next time here on The Slice.